I heard somebody say something one time. It has stuck with me since I heard him say it. I heard somebody say, damn, this nigga said, and this shit stuck, it done stuck with me ever since I heard it. I heard somebody say, if you let them treat you like you Clark Kent, you'll forget that you Superman. And that shit, if that ain't the truth, I don't know what the fuck is. If you let that bitch talk to you any type of way, you gonna forget that you that nigga. If you go out in the world and let these motherfuckers treat you any type of way and disrespect you, you gonna forget who you are. And if you goddamn start to believe that, you start to believe what these motherfuckers telling you, and you start to treat yourself any type of way, and you start doing all this shit that ain't beneficial for you, that take you steps back farther, nigga, you gonna lose yourself. You gonna forget that you a superhero. A nigga is a superhero when he actually realizes and understand that. And that go for every nigga in the whole world. And every female too. Same thing applies to the other side. If you let that nigga talk to you any type of way, bitch, you gonna forget who you are. If you go out in the world and let these motherfuckers disrespect you, you gonna forget that you that bitch. And when you start to believe all this shit, and you start talking to yourself and doubting yourself and treating yourself any type of way, not having respect for yourself, not motherfucking doing all this stuff that take you steps back, you gonna lose yourself and forget who you are. So that's what I need everybody to understand. Remember who you are. Remember your dreams. Chase your dreams. Remember the shit that you remember yourself as a kid. Remember yourself as a kid. And what it might not be the same for everybody, or if your parents got them instilled so much in you, but you done went through life now and you done been told you can't do something, and you done got to the point where you start doubting yourself. Remember who you are. Never lose sight of who you are. Cause when you start doing that, man, this shit can goddamn be a motherfucking uphill motherfucking battle. This shit will be an uphill battle. You let them treat you like you Clark Kent, you will forget that you Superman. I'm telling you. So never lose sight of who you are, man. Never doubt yourself. Never doubt who you are. Never doubt who you are. Everybody got a superpower. That's just up to you to goddamn find out what it is. And everything that I preach in all these videos, you go back and look at all the videos, this is the way that you figure out what your superpower is. It starts with yourself. It starts right here in the mind. This is where it started, right here in the mind. And I heard somebody else say, they said, what did they say? They said, the choices that you make is going to ultimately determine who you become. So, like, when you get up in the morning, that's where it started. So, you get up in the morning, you got to make the right, and it's not even about making the right choices, but it's more or less making the choices that is going to benefit you in the end, that's going to take you somewhere. Instead of making choices that keep you stagnant in life and keep you walking on a treadmill or taking steps back, you got to make those choices. Like, you're gonna have choices on each hand. You got to be able to choose a choice that's most beneficial for you, and not something that just feels good in the moment. That's where people go wrong so much. They wake up chasing a feeling. Whether a motherfucker wake up, they want to get high, you chasing the feeling. You want to get drunk, you chasing the feeling. You want to goddamn go out and party, you chasing the feeling. But nah, you got to goddamn cut back and start living in purpose. Start living in purpose. Find what your purpose is. Like a motherfucker gotta go on that journey, on that self journey. Lost it, like nigga gotta go find that shit. Like nigga gotta go find that shit, and it's on him. Ain't nobody gonna come save you at the end of the day. Nobody's gonna come save you at the end of the day. So a motherfucker gotta figure this shit out on his own. And that's what I've been doing. I'm in the process of doing, like, figuring this shit out. Like, ain't nobody gonna come help you motherfucking get healthy. Ain't nobody gonna come help you get money. Homeless person, ain't nobody gonna come get them a house, no money, and a job. Like, a motherfucker gotta go really goddamn you gotta go get that shit. So, man, if you let them treat you like you Clark Kent, you gonna forget that you Superman. If you let them treat you like you Peter Parker, you gonna forget that you Spider-Man. And I don't know, I think her name Lois Lane. If you let them treat you like you Lois Lane, you gonna forget that you Superwoman. Bitch, don't let them treat you like that. Don't let them treat you any type of way. They go for anybody. Don't let nobody treat you any type of way. Demand respect. And when a motherfucker see you respect yourself, they ain't gonna have no choice but to respect you from the jump. And just like I said in the last video, this shit goes without being said. When you walk in a room and you goddamn feeling good, you looking good, you've been working out, you've been eating right, you've been taking your vitamins and your supplements and shit like that, this shit just exuberates off you. This energy just comes off you. And a motherfucker don't know not to play with you. No, not because you respect yourself too much to even let somebody disrespect you. So a motherfucker gotta understand that. Let them treat you like you Clark Kent, your ass is gonna forget that you Superman. If you let them motherfuckers treat you like you Peter Parker, you gonna forget that your ass is Spider-Man. You gonna forget. You is gonna forget. Never forget who you are. Never forget who you are. And I was on a path of self-destruction. Feeling like, man, I ain't know what the fuck was going on. I done lost myself. I had to go find this shit. I had to goddamn not drop everything that I was doing and not show everybody appreciation, but man, I had to love myself more than anybody. You gotta love yourself more than you love anybody else. No matter who it is. Your kids, your old lady, your dude, your motherfucking brothers, your sisters, your mama, your daddy. You gotta love yourself more than you love anybody else. Because this shit is gonna show up in your relationships. If you're not fully confident, if you're not goddamn fully loving yourself properly, this shit is gonna show up in your relationship. You can't be the best version of yourself if you're not doing this type of shit. So that's one thing I understand now on this path that I'm on. Like, man, it's better for everybody around me if I focus all the attention, most of the attention for the most part of my day, the most part of my life on myself. Because then I'm going to be able to give you 100% love and attention when I'm around you. Because I love myself so much, I'm going to be able to love you the same way. A motherfucker really don't know what love is if you don't truly love yourself. If you just goddamn a fat piece of shit, you eating everything all day, you smoking, and the habits that I'm talking about, these bad habits, it's only a bad habit when it starts to affect your everyday life. So a motherfucker that smoke all day, if you smoking to the point where you ain't got no more money, but you gotta have this last blunt, so you calling the weed man up, let me get a motherfucking ball until next week. Let me get a gram until next week. You smoking up all the weed. If you going out shit, you know you ain't got no money and shit like that, you know you ain't get your shit right, this is when the shit become a bad habit. So it's okay to smoke, it's okay to goddamn occasionally drink and shit like that, or whatever you may do. It's okay to goddamn have a cheat day and eat whatever the fuck you want to eat. Nigga eat donuts, nigga goddamn eat some ice cream, eat some motherfucking cookies late at night. But if you doing this shit on an everyday basis and it's affecting who you are and who you becoming, that's when this shit becomes a bad habit. A motherfucker gotta understand that. So I'm not just speaking out the ass when I'm saying this shit. I'm saying it in that sense. When it comes to the point where all this shit is taking you steps back and it's affecting who you are and what you becoming, then this shit is a motherfucking bad habit, and you gotta drop this shit before you motherfucking get too far off track, and you can't goddamn pull that motherfucker back on the track. You too far off track now. A motherfucker gotta understand, and the earlier you understand that shit, the best you gonna be. So for anybody, don't just look at these videos and thinking I'm just talking. I don't even give a fuck who look at the video, because the right person gonna look at it and they gonna pull something out of it, and it's gonna benefit them in the right way. I don't give a fuck if I get 2 or 3 views on each fucking video. I really don't give a fuck, because at the end of the day, I started this shit for myself, so I can keep myself disciplined, so I can keep myself on track, and I can go back and look at these videos every day and see how far I've came. Like, I just remember who I was like a couple years ago, and man, I done came so far. Like, I was really a piece of shit trying to cover the shit up with cologne, and this shit still smelling. It still smell like shit. You can't put deodorant on a musty motherfucker and think he goddamn gonna smell good. His ass still musty. He need to hop his dirty ass in the shower and clean that motherfucking dirt off, and then put some deodorant on that bitch. You can't goddamn put cologne on shit, perfume on shit, and think it ain't still gonna stink. That shit still gonna stink. You gotta get that shit up and clean the motherfucker, then spray that motherfucker. It ain't gonna smell like shit no more, because you done cleaned it up. Motherfucker gotta understand, man, for this shit too late. But every single time, like I say, bless the man that be persistent and consistent with his results. They don't know how much it took for Noah's family to build the ark. Bless the man that be determined. Bless the man that keep this shit solid always. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.